well pleased with the 880 now, definitely well pleased with her. I don't think I need anything anymore, you know.
"15 years ago, when GRASSMEN started making their first video, you'd just lost your FX."
You love bringing that up, don't you? You just love it.
She went for a wee barbecue, and you bought your first Claas 870.
Yeah.
And you've never looked back from the Claas gravy train ever since.
No, I do like the Claas now. I do like the Claas, mate, as you know. They've done well for me. Very pleased with them. Now here the FRs are supposed to be not a bad harvester now, but
I don't think any of them. I don't think any of them's bad anymore.
Yeah.
Like, look at McKnight. He's there running around with that, the big X. And any videos I've seen, she's an animal. Like, there's no bad new machine now. It's back down to what everyone says, isn't it?
Yeah.
Service, back up.
Yeah.
But you ran to your, how long? You ran your 870 straight 6.
Yeah.
What did you buy then?
Another 870. New 870 then after that. She was a second hand 870 when one went on fire, remember?
That's right. And then you stepped into the 800, the new 800 series.
Yes. 860, yeah. It was an 860.
And then you had an 880.
Yeah. That's right.
Then you had another 880.
Yeah.
And you said to me for years, you don't need any bigger than an 880. It can lift all the grass we need it to lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. That's true.
What are we in today, Gavin?
Well, circumstances change, as you know, Gareth, sometimes, and just they ended up with a wee bit more work and stuff, and a bit more work come on, and I didn't really want to go down the route of 2 harvesters, to tell you the truth.
Because we did talk a lot about, do you get a second harvester, or do you get one maybe bigger harvester and horse it till it?
Yeah.
So what did you do then?
Well, I sort of went down the route of the slightly bigger harvester then, and then really, well, it was some salesman too. He said about there's not, and I had a couple of 970s out, there's not an awful difference from an 880 to a 970 in my opinion, but there is a difference to this here now. There definitely is a right difference.
And this is
980.
So
V12 man in her. She's
just
basically a baby 990. That's what she is.
A 990 without the steroids.
Yes. 990 without the steroids.
V12 man, so you were a wee bit worried that you weren't going to get the step forward, because if I'm right in saying, and I'm not to bring this into the money talk because that's your personal business, but there's a substantial difference between an 800 series and a 900 series in terms of asking price.
Yeah.
So when you were going that far to go to a 970, which on list is probably something like 70 grand more.
Yeah, it'd be roughly, yeah. Probably.
So, when you break it all down over your 4 or 5 years, the extra bit to go to the 980,
yeah,
it probably did make sense.
It probably did, aye. Well, that's what I thought. My salesman kept telling me that too.
Do you need it?
No, it's nice. It's definitely. Look, we're only in the 4th day out at grass here this year, and I hear that crops aren't massively heavy, but there's a right crop of stuff in that there.
But grass is still green.
Yeah. which
It's
is hard
been
to chop.
teated, it's sugary,
Yeah.
it's sticky, it's lumpy. These are the conditions that put the harvesters more at test than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. And like the pickup, that new pickup on these here, that twin drive pickup is mighty. She hasn't really blocked at all, ever, yet.
But this isn't your pickup.
No, this is it's still a twin drive, hydraulic drive pickup, but mine's not going to be in till the end of the month, seemingly. So
Because yours is the slightly more modified,
yeah.
the slightly newer, the one that basically we videoed the Mark Troy's.
Is it? Aye, could be.
Aye,
Yes.
Yeah, he had in the 990 last year, different flights, your side panels out a wee bit. That was only officially released last year.
Right, okay, yeah.
So that's 41 as we speak, sitting in this cab at the beginning of May. 41 new Claas harvesters sold in Ireland last year.
Yeah, there was, 41.
And you're one of them.
Yeah. Look, they're a very reliable harvester. I have no reason to go away from them. Like, the dealer's only 15 minutes up the road, and they don't give me. Look, they can break down, but they give me very little bother. Quiet, lovely as you can tell. Like, do you not think she's quiet inside her?
Lovely.
I don't know well. I don't know what Chrome. John Deere, she definitely would be quieter now, I would have thought.
John Deere's a little bit of a rougher running noise, but
yeah.
I'm very hopeful that that's changing.
Oh, right. Okay. Something's on. What's
It's
that
a
space?
big year for
John Deere.
and Claas and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're meant to know or not meant to know, but we can't deny the few leaked photographs that's done the rounds.
No, there is a few, right enough.
Why, when you have an idea of what's coming and nobody knows what's coming, why the push and not hold for the new? Or
It was just, look, it was an opportunity of more work, and I didn't want to, I have to keep my own customers happy, was what I was really thinking. And I'd say I didn't want to go down the route of 2 harvesters. It means more chillers, more shovels, more rakes, more everything, you know what I mean? Sort of thought when the pressure's on, you can push on a wee bit with this lady, like, if you have to. Now, you don't need to be going just full bore all the time, but you know what I mean, if the rain's coming, you can. But isn't this wee spell of weather nighty?
here, Gavin, it's unbelievable, bud.
It makes the whole job so much simpler, like, doesn't it?
Oh, here, hey, all I'm going to say to you is this harvester, what's that wee saying? She's running like a mouse eating paper, isn't she?
I'm well pleased with her now, definitely so far.
And like, I'm not being smart. You're not.
I'm not pushing her
No.
really too hard.
91% there. Like, they only start working at 105.
You see, that's where there's a wee bit lumpy on it, just the type of grass. But
100%.
there, she's going right there now.
Have you done much messing with the dynamic power?
I did try it, but I don't really like it.
You're a max power kind of over here, are you?
I know.
Are you?
I did try her down to 7 out of 10, but she just doesn't seem to be going right. So I just quickly changed that. Now, if you were in lighter, like 3rd, 4th cuts, maybe it might come in and save a bit of diesel, which was what I was sort of thinking for it. But well, I haven't just been on stuff that's nothing on it yet. Like there's a right sort of stuff in that there, like.
Well, what's the aim here? Make the contracting business bigger, farm more? Like what are you trying to do?
Seems to be getting bigger, just seems to be getting bigger every year. Seem to be busier and busier, sort of thing.
Are you doing more for the same people, or are you gaining?
Been a lot and a couple of new boys and stuff too, like
Because this multi-cut's becoming big business here in this part of the world.
Yeah, and then funny, we were at the liquid fertiliser now too. With the sprayer, I changed the sprayer.
You love the spraying.
Aye, do like the spraying now, aye. And that seems to be getting popular. The liquid thing now, it's the first year we had, but there's a few boys and there's a few boys wanting it, like.
And the line, well, it stands to sense, especially in a year like this, when the weather's turned dry.
Yeah.
And you're throwing on pellets, and there's boys put fertiliser on and had to lie for 2 weeks before it got rain to take it in.
Yeah.
Surely the liquid has to be getting in there, I don't know.
Well, that's because then they say it's working within a couple of days, sort of thing, because it's in liquid form, obviously.
Yeah.
So definitely, when the weather's like this, you would think it's going to work, wouldn't you?
So that's a good job. You're doing the lime as well.
Yeah. Yeah, still busy at the lime, the ground lime.
And you're still cropping a bit yourself. With your 4 metre drill.
Yeah, 4 metre Lumpkin she is. Lumpkin solitaire, 1 pass. Yeah.
So I suppose I can understand why you have the big girl on her then.
250, sort of need that on her, like, to be fair.
Still a robot?
Yeah, robot's going well. I think that's the same. That's 15-year-old too.
That's the year it came, is right.
That's right.
And is the cows going alright too?
Yeah, cow's going good at the minute, yeah. Just tickling along there, 1 robot, and yeah.
You go to do a glen here?
What's that?
Just blast them.
Should I? He's gone. He's gone.
Freddie Mercury.
Craig's gone.
I've not been smart. Your spout looks small.
Yes, they were under pressure.
That's what she said. I know. So what is this all about?
What's that? The wee church spout? Well, there is an extension to go on her yet, but they just didn't get around to getting that done. So
I see you're blowing. Oh no, I'm not being smart. I just thought it was. You need to be watching that going around the corner the wrong way there. So 750.
Aye, 750.
That will make a difference.
Yeah.
But I wonder will it blow as well? Would the shorter spout not blow better?
Maybe slightly. Don't know if there'll be much difference in that length of an extension. Yeah.
Would you like to be doing grass like they do in California? You know the way they come in with their bunker trailers, and it's just the wee taint like the mini pickers.
Yeah. They're totally.
they're just blowing straight across.
Are they also, a lot of them still is like that, aren't they?
I wonder why they do that though. Is it because they have that trailer is tall when you see it?
She is tall, she is. No, she's a nice looking trailer now.
Lovely colour.
It is. Who picked that colour?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Blake has always tried the tri-axles and all, and you said you loved the tri-axle, but you're just a wee bit worried.
Yeah.
Yet, bigger harvester, you felt you needed an extra trailer.
Yeah.
And you went for a straight forward Super Cube, no steering axle, 20-foot trailer, but you put her in 650s for wet conditions.
Yeah. I just had a notion of trying the 650s to see what they were like. Yeah, they seem a really nice tire now. They're still on the 22.5-inch rim, but they're 650. 650s 50 are they? I think they are. 22
and a half. Whereas Adam Killen and Glenn's baby Smyths, as I call them because they're 2 axles, they're in a 26.5-inch rim, which would have its place as well.
It would.
But you're into a costly option now.
Yeah, I just thought on that size of a trailer, I didn't really need to go that far, She's ABS brakes and all on her thing there.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, seem to be. Blake says they're nice. Now
well, the cost of them tyres and treads, and the last thing you want some idiot setting sail and her logging up every time you get forward.
Yeah.
If that hole's not there, that's all saving money. For what?
Yeah.
A few hundred of an extra.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer, Gavin.
She'll not log at all now with them ABS, sure she won't.
She shouldn't. I don't know now. I'm not being smart. If you're in one of them, must stop very, very quickly moments.
She might.
But here it holds some load of grass.
She does.
For a baby trailer.
Well, she's 20'6", but she's high, and then she comes forward.
Super Cube, so she'll go forward, 2 feet, 2.5 feet nearly.
Yeah.
And then, it's interesting to see what she holds beside that new, that new high cube.
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
I already do know the answer, but I'd be considered biased. So.
I thought you were going to cry yesterday whenever I asked you to give up your H2 for a day.
Oh, no.
You thought I'd asked you to put the wheel up for a dog?
Oh, no. I want to try this Smyth too, see what she's like, but obviously she's just not going to be my trailer.
Are you alright when I loads through there this morning already? What do you think of her so far?
Look, I can't complain about her too much now. She's dead on. She's grand. That's my first day on her. I pulled her up the road from her. I collected her, but she's different. Yes, there's differences between it and the H2, but nothing major or nothing against her.
And what, stability-wise or width or?
Well, she's that bit wider a trailer and taller. She's just a big square box behind you, really.
But sure, they're not all like that.
Well, that's the H2 way she's kind of curved at the bottom. makes it that wee bit smaller, I suppose, whereas that's just a big square.
I literally just a big cereal box coming down.
Yeah, and actually that wee bit taller too. Like we have the high cube there, a high cube H2, and it should be even taller than it again.
Aye. But that high cube, that would be your trailer as such, wouldn't it?
Yes, that's the one we got it last year, 18-ton high cube. That was one of the early ones, the early H2 high cubes. But no, she holds the right load. Like there's 4 trailers now, much the same size. There's not going to be a lot of difference between them. Which you sort of need for if you have one big trailer and then one wee trailer coming. It messes up the buck rake man, it messes up the harvester man, your timings.
Ah, you need to keep the whole thing in rhythm, like.
You need to keep the whole thing kind of even.
Well, as Sean Collins talks about, you want to keep it like in the military.
Yes.
Just keep it steady all the time.
Military operation, yes.
Like, there's no point rushing and raking for an hour and then giving up the rest of the day.
No. I mean, like years ago when we had the big Smyth out from GRASSMEN, the black one, the tri-axle. When I was filling the load, there could have been 2 or 3 trailers stuck on the field waiting on me.
Aye. That upsets the whole thing then.
That upsets the whole flow.
Well, the only thing is the buck rake man maybe would have thanked you for one run whenever he's getting all the extra time to roll, and then it'd be cursing you.
He did, and then you brought 2 loads at once.
Aye.
Yeah, I don't know, I wasn't that caring about that now. So it's just if we can keep the whole thing kind of the same, it just makes it flow that wee bit better.
Well, what was the theory behind going for a Smyth? Like, I know Gavin is all herring, and well, she's herring colours too.
Yes.
What was the reason for the change of brand?
Why not try something different?
Yeah.
You know, why not? See what else is out there. Like the herring to me is top class trailer. So we'll Smyth now, so we'll see what that's like, how it compares.
Well, then, if you were ranking trailers, you would still rank the herring above the cane, would you?
I personally would have think, yeah.
Why?
Again, no big difference. Like the company's full of canes. You know, they're bread and butter nearly every side of each trailer, but just wee things. I think the herring just stands ahead. Like we had a cane, we had a half pipe, and I still went back to the herring. Steering axle was a big one. It was a lot better of a lock than the herring.
Okay.
That was a big one. I noticed that straight away with the cane. She didn't just turn as nice.
Well, speaking of steering axles, there's no steering axle in this trailer.
No.
What was the thought behind that? I suppose that's like you going back to Europe today into like a 14-ton with no steering axle, but
I know,
she's not 14 ton. She's a bit.
I'm nearly flicking the spool valve for the steering axle. It was nearly just reaction. She's a lot wee bit shorter too. All them herons are 22 foot. This is only 20 foot. So I suppose he thought we don't really need the steering axle.
Okay.
I think Sam Smyth says no, it wasn't required on a trailer this size. Their axles are a wee bit further forward as well.
Right. Okay.
So that'll help you. But I think they just said. Boys that have the Smyths too also said, you know, you don't need the steering axle. Gavin didn't know what to do, so he said we'll try one without it.
Well, then if you take the likes of your 14-ton classic herring and you part the drawbar to the same place the drawbar that there is,
yes.
Would your wheels be the same length back then?
Probably wouldn't be far away. We haven't just tried it. With a 14 in the yard, we could try it, but we haven't. But I would imagine they're not far away. Because she'd be that wee bit shorter again. The 14 would be 18 foot. Just that wee bit. Should be good for wet ground, I would think.
Carrying ways?
I would think it. That wee bit smaller trailer and up in 650s.
But then is that the trend now? Are people wanting to go back to a smaller trailer? Because for years and years it was a 14, a 16 and an 18, and now you're saying you want to come back the way a bit.
Well, as I say, this is nearly like a third, fourth trailer. So this could be anybody nearly towing it.
Okay.
So you don't want to give them a big brute of a trailer that they're maybe not used to and take out every gate post in the country with it. So this one they should be fit to wiggle it in some shape or form.
Is she tipping off 2 spills like the big one, or is she off the 1?
No, she has 2 spills as well.
Okay.
Yeah, she has 2 spills, so you have 2 spills to tip her and then just your back door. But it makes a big difference coming down. It doesn't make any difference tipping it up.
Okay.
Because your pump governs your flow. 1 spill or 2 spill, it doesn't make a lot of difference.
But she just floats a lot quicker.
She floats coming down. You put one in the float and then the second on the float, you can see the drop difference.
Well, I suppose it's just letting more oil away. That's all it is. Like
it's doubling the flow backwards. Seems to be a good job. You just need to know what one to put it in, what spill to have it in, or you get yourself in a bit of a kerfuffle.
Yes. What's Gavin's thoughts on her so far?
I think he's happy enough. New trailer, new harvester, sure. Why couldn't you be happy sitting up in that?
It's like Christmas in May.
Yeah. He's a happy boy there now.
I think one of the last times I was out with you actually were in the combine, but our very first DVD in the blood, you were a part of that process from day one. Like there's been some growth and progression even in your business since then.
Yeah. Oh, there definitely has. When was that? That was back. What was I running at that time?
It's mostly New Hollands. You maybe had your first John Deere.
Yeah, that's right. Now 6830.
Now you're a fleet of John Deeres basically.
Yeah, there's only, well, they're all John Deere's bar one case and a New Holland still.
And now, boys were out yesterday videoing your mowing with a 175 and a 155 with your new set. You had a new set of Claas butterflies this year as well. Did you drive the Volvo into the money tree, or what way did that work? Or
No, I've needed to change mowers there too, to set of doubles just for getting
you need to change the more. So what do you go for?
another set of Claas butterflies. Claas always in Claas mowers, and well pleased with them too.
Why no big M? Just a simple question.
I don't know, I just thought, look, there's one set out all the time and then the other set can run when we're busy, if you know what I mean. Really busy, but I don't know, big M, just a lot of doing another thing sitting in the shed, you know, pretty much.
You normally, what do you run your mowers on normally?
250, 6R 250, or 6250R,
Aye.
she is on a set of 9300s.
She wasn't out yesterday because you were drilling.
Aye, yeah, no, the drill finished
And
yesterday.
she can only fit in that tractor, is that right? Or something
Aye,
like
the
that?
drill's wired up for that tractor, yeah, so I would have needed to change a lot.
Well, how did the 175 handle the big Classes? No
Well,
wonder.
the 175, well, she would mow generally with the other ones anyway, but there was a 155 on the other set now. And
Oh,
here,
so it was what you were impressed with?
Yeah.
That did all right?
Yeah, that did grand. Like, look, here crops aren't massive, you know, at the minute. I wouldn't much want to be getting on the real heavy stuff with her.
Yeah.
But, no, she handles them grand. So she does. 155. It's basically just the 175 and the 250 that would be on the butterflies, you know, on the two sets.
And Blake he's still driving mostly his.
Still driving the case. He loves the
He
case.
seems to like it, doesn't he?
He does, he does. He's
Does
like,
Blake love it that much that do you think you'd have to keep one?
maybe.
No, do you think that's the way
Probably.
you would go? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
No fear in having another one.
No.
And she hasn't done you bad.
No, she hasn't been too bad. The odd wee thing, but nothing major, you know. No, she hasn't been bad at all.
To be fair, I love this tractor. This tractor is fantastic. I'm not a John Deere man. That's not a surprise to people, but this is my tractor, my go-to in the yard.
What's your thoughts on the CVX box compared to like your John Deere Vario or your Fendt Vario?
Each to their own, I suppose. This is simple. This couldn't be any simpler to drive. Anybody could steer this.
But are they not all simple? You know, it's like when you think about it, they are.
Vario is simple, or CVT, whatever you want to call it. Boys get into those Command Pro John Deeres and get a bit lost, just because there's so many buttons and so much going on. Whereas this here, you just get in and go.
But it's the same as the Fendt too, and it's probably the same as
Fendt's
that
the
there.
same.
You know, like you still have your scroller there.
Yeah.
You still have your couple of buttons there too.
Oh, you
So
can do a lot here if needs be, but you don't need it.
Well, essentially, it all comes down to your right foot.
Yeah, I'm driving that in the pedal.
Yeah.
That's as simple as could be.
And you can drive that with a hand as well.
Yep. Just all I have to do is push that forward and she's away with it. You know, just the Command Pro, there's a lot going on to confuse boys that maybe don't know, but once you know it, it's a doddle.
Well, if you did close your eyes and pushed it forward and pulled it back and keep your foot down or whatever,
Yeah,
essentially it is all the same.
more or less, yeah.
It's just
But once you get in the Command Pro on there and say you're doing field work or something, for example, and you set it all up like it is, lovely. Command Pro, I'm not a John Deere man, but Command Pro, yeah, I do like.
Which one would you prefer? The CVX or the Command Pro?
Depends what I'm doing, like, really. I would love to take this tractor for everything, but this is no guidance, or GPS, or no screen to set everything up, so this is kind of limited.
Well, forget everything else. Have you had to just work with the gearbox?
Just for a day of driving and
Yeah.
city trailer.
If you had that stick or if you had to take the stick out of this and the stick out of the Command Pro and put it into anything you wanted,
Arguably, I would probably take this.
okay.
Boys are going to say that's just because I hate John Deere. I'm not going to put John Deere down. The Command Pro and the Vario is spot on, but just for I'm used to this.
Okay.
I'm used to this. This is what I drive, so
Same as your trailer then?
yeah. Stick with what I know, really.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared to jump in anything else. Like I do plenty of days in them John Deere. Plenty of days.
Oh, I seen you living the dream yesterday on a tether.
I cruise a bit with that tether, yeah.
So any lumps today, you're the man to blame.
Every lump I am the man to blame, yes. So that's all tethers do, is make lumps. I just drive about 2 days making a mess.
Aye, in a different machine from normal.
Yeah. Like the kicking's a handy wee job, the tether. Them other boys can mow and I can tear away behind them.
Keep them under pressure.
Funny, they were under pressure yesterday. There was a lot going on in the field at one stage.
880, 980, big difference. Volvo L90. Thoughts?
Compactor.
And you have a compactor.
Yeah, it's a great job, the compactor.
But is the shovel struggling yet?
Well, it depends what the grass is like. Look, if you're in Wales, like grass, she probably will a wee bit. We might need to upgrade her next. That'll be the next thing, probably.
Now, what does an upgrade look like to Gavin? 110? Well, you have to go. There's nothing else. If you stay Volvo.
Stay Volvo, aye, 110 probably, or whether you go to JCB if the dealers would ever come near you, sort of thing. You know.
Oh, is that a wee shot fired there?
Well, I was to get one last year, but I never got her in the end, and I don't know. Wouldn't mind trying one now to see what they're like.
What would you want to try though? 457 or 435?
Probably be a 435, just would it not? Probably.
But if you were thinking of a 110, you'd have to go 457.
Maybe. You're into a big machine like that too, aren't you? Well, I suppose she's similar to your
But
mom.
you would kind of need your 435 now to give your driver a bit of a feel for the similar-ish machine, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that would be right.
Well then, you're running a compactor there, is that, surely that's helping?
Oh aye, it's a great job, yeah, mighty job. It definitely is. Aye, we ran one last year and everybody was very happy with it, everybody that had it.
Fire off mark, MDE?
Yeah, off mark, yeah. I've actually got a bigger one out there at the minute for mine's just not 100% ready.
Yeah, well that's what happened.
Yeah.
I should have won something similar to we took to the Highland Show last year,
She's
I
a
think.
4-ton one. She's a big one like there at the minute now. She's a big machine, like, so she has a bit of weight in her.
But if you can keep the compactor, it's something to doze grass up you need.
Yeah.
That's why I think don't rule out the new 435 because it's giving you horsepower, something similar weight, yes. It's giving you the extra beefed up axle at this stage. That thing will move grass.
Yeah. Oh, she definitely will. Glenn was telling me he's well pleased with his one now.
And he does see the big difference. What was it, right? Well, that's what he said to me. He says, you weren't lying in that video. It's like, we never lie.
Well, what about the model career? How's that going at the minute?
It's busy as always. It's always still ticking away in the background, yeah. More so the winter time. The winter time's chaos, has always been. And then, I get to it in wet days, wet weeks, whenever I can, really.
Does that sort of take a... Well, that doesn't take a lull, but you probably just can't get near it this time of year.
That's it. Like this week here, weather forecast giving it dry all week. I just know, no, not going to get near the workshop at all.
Well, she's a bit like the heron then, or the heron on the key, and you have to tip her up to unleash the latch in for the back door, or can you lift her straight?
You can open the door with her down.
Right, okay.
There is no latch on her, no. There was none on the big Smyth either. I don't know if that's a Smyth thing or... I've only worked with a couple of Smyths now. No, you just need to watch that. You can open your door, you just need to pay attention to that. You don't hit the wrong spool.
Catch out quick.
Going down the road or something. Not so bad with grass. You make it a bit green or something, that would be an awful... That would be an awful ordeal. We'll try and avoid that. Funny, that's not a bad wee thing on the herons, that you can do that, you know. You're never going to open your door accidentally. I do like that wee feature on them.
You are just a heron man. It's like talking to Michael Anderson here.
No, not anything. Well, that's what I've known. Like, I've had herons all. Gavin's always been a heron apart from the key and now the Smyth's here, so heron's what I know.
And is it the sort of thing it's just better the devil, you know, or is there better?
Come back to me in 6 months.
I will do that, you know.
Yeah. Well, you'll see what I'm towing all year. If the H2's still on, you'll know. I don't think there's going to be a big lot of difference between them. They're both trailers, they're both pulse sides, it's just whatever your notion is for them.
Because there may be differences, like there's a lot of differences from the 8 Series to this. You know.
What's your favourite?
4-wheel drive thing's a great job.
The move away from mechanical?
Yeah. So she wouldn't be as aggressive, you know, around corners and stuff. You nearly needed to flick the 800 out of 4-wheel drive when you were turning sharp, or she could have left that sword on you very handy.
Yeah.
Variable chop length, very easy to change, and the whole power thing. Pick up, it's definitely a big advantage that there, pick up, which I suppose you need the...
But that's really, you know, John Deere's been doing that as like a number of years now.
The hydraulic drive one?
And it is a good job. It is a good job because you can adjust your time speed to the other, you know.
Yeah.
It is a good job, like.
Yeah.
So Glenn bought the 990 and you bought the 980. There was a couple other 980s sold. But 970 still seems to be where it's at.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with 970, I wouldn't have thought, but it was just for me to notice much of a difference. That's what I was sort of thinking, you know, or a bit of a difference. Well, there is a bit of a difference from an 880 to a 970, but not a huge amount, you know.
Well, you'd have all the niceties that you're talking about.
Yeah. Still have a lot there. But just a wee bit less power probably than...
Well, now I seen Glenn sent a video the other night of the 990 and the 970 now.
Yeah.
And
Was Reggie better?
seem to be now.
You sort of have
You've went for the new drum and you have 20 knives in her. You have them in what they call VMAX configuration.
V-Flex is
V-Flex, aye, within the...
V-Flex drum, yeah.
Which is heavier?
Heavier, yeah. And they're different knives, they're heavier knife. There'll be more meat on them too, like, so hopefully they'll last a wee bit longer. You'd say between it and the pickup, they're talking about an extra 8% between it and your hydraulic drive pickup. About 8% more output than what the last ones would have been.
Take your wee spout.
Get wee spout here, boy. How we do we want?
Take your wee spout.
Oh dear.
Wee metal detection out round the house.
Always metal detections down here. That's another good thing in these here. The twin drive pickup, you can just reverse her there. Just your auger going.
Yeah.
And then you can spit it on out of your feed rolls going. You know, so you can get rid of all the grass first and then it's just a bit left with the detection on it.
AFR is a great job. The tines will kick back in it and spit it right out.
Oh, does she?
A quarter turn, I don't know now, I'm saying a quarter turn. Somebody in the comments, keep me right here, but she will spit back so far, for sure. I think that was real neat. Well, here, I can't speak for the new ultra feed header. Hey, they've all upped their game.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it, Chrome can feed grass into a machine.
Yeah.
110. Probably currently as we speak, your 1180, there's not much to stick in its way, like.
Probably not. No.
For sheer.
Yeah.
But when you look at what Claas's few header adjustments, John Deere has made a game changer with a 30R head. New Holland's Ultra feed header seems to have made the FR into something.
Yeah.
Not to run the FR down because they're very successful here in Northern Ireland, but
yeah. They're all up their game, like there's no, as you say, there's no real bad harvesters.
And there's I don't know what's all happening this year, I'm not being smart, but obviously there's
a few changes coming like.
But this was the problem, 5 or 6 or maybe 10 years ago, this size of a 9 series Claas couldn't get it in the front end. That was the problem.
Yeah, the pickup was the problem.
Do you think honestly, but in your heart of hearts, with the cost of machinery and that you truly can justify this, or what's your gut tell you?
I don't know, it is getting very expensive stuff like kit, isn't it?
So where do you think it's going though?
It's bound to sort of ease off a bit here, isn't it? You would think, but it never seems to. Inflation, it just seems to keep getting price rises every year. Pretty much 1 or 2%, doesn't it?
What's the one thing in your business that you don't currently do that you'd like to do? A wee job that you don't offer a service for yet?
I don't know. I thought about the lorries a while ago, but I don't know. Well, I love a lorry, like, but I don't know if I like that all the time, if you know what I mean.
But look at Glenn.
Yeah.
Lions.
Yeah.
Not so much now, but back in the day. Gamble Brothers as well.
Yeah.
You know, an awful lot of these, it suits the winter time so well.
Yeah.
Do you have your license?
No, never bothered.
Did you not? Just was wondering, you never tried your license, no?
You're a laugh, you are, aren't you? The very last day, I'm going to have to say now, the very last day you could do your class 1, it's like your class 2 sort of thing.
You just thought you could rock up and do it?
Yeah.
That doesn't work out, Gavin.
I know, the boy was failing everybody that day.
Yeah, I was on it.
That's what he told me, that's what I heard. That's my excuse for sticking to it. That's why he stopped at zebra crossing and he wasn't meant to stop and I didn't stop, I just kept her that.
They made that their song about you.
What was that?
Lorry driver, I'm a lorry driver. Here, I have the license and I can't drive, we'll not get into that. Like. man.
It wasn't an odd driving thing, it was just,
It was just the fact that someone walked out in a zebra
Well, he
crossing.
didn't even walk out, he just stopped.
Aye.
Not enough.
We're winding, I'm only winding.
I know.
It's a good one, that one, though.
Doesn't it? No, I didn't even know I tell you that.
Aye. We get back too far, buddy.
I forgot about that, but I sort of got your reaction there. I knew you knew whatever you started there.
If you could have a wee gamble at something, you'd pick lorries.
Aye, maybe, yeah.
Anything else? Because you are combining.
Aye, no, there's pretty much. No.
Or what about not like more cows and a second robot or anything like that?
Maybe here the young boys are, they're now 15 and well, one of them nearly 14 actually. That's last month they'll be 14. First time. We'll see.
Layers, big man, layers.
Layers, huh?
Layer
They're the job. So I hear
at the minute, yeah. How are you finding drivers and staff all fairly good or in between?
Not too bad. There's a new boy started there with us and he's getting on the best now.
That's this young lad here.
Yeah.
He's going well.
He's going well. Aye, for here, look, boys move on, and that's just what happens. You know what I mean? Our boy was with us for a few years there. He's away fencing now. Aye, he's just stuck at that.
Is he out in his own fencing?
Yeah.
Or? Sure, like how can you not support that?
No,
like?
no, it's 100%.
I agree totally. I think when someone wants to, that happens to us too. We've people leaving all the time, and I think you have to support people that want to leave.
Yeah.
Mr. Smyth back again.
That's a wild busy road out there, like.
Aye.
You like the colour of the Smyth then?
Nice.
You wonder who chose that colour, Anna?
Me? Personally, I would have black and yellow.
Yeah.
But we can't be accused of copying anyone.
No, here, that's nice.
Does it ties in but with the rest of your fleet? I get it.
No,
I just like the black and yellow.
Yeah, black and yellow does work well, and it works
That's
well.
nice.
Pretty much everything, doesn't it?
Right, final question on the Smyth.
Go on.
Is she a wolf in sheep's clothing, or is she just a sheep?
Depends what way you look at it, really. Like, I don't know. Each to their own. I'm not going to put her down.
But you're still a herring man.
At the minute, yeah, but I'm definitely not putting the Smyth down. It's only the first day on her.